Kevin Harvick said something on his happy hour show this week that has me a little curious. Hello, I'm Tom Baker from Steering Wheel Nation. Kevin said, if Corey Heim or Connor Zilisch don't win their championships, it's an embarrassment to the sport. Why? How is it an embarrassment to the sport? He said those teams have worked so hard to get to where they are, they should win the championship. Well, pardon me for asking, Kevin, but didn't the other 6 teams that are in the Final Four in the Truck and Xfinity Series work just as hard or harder and maybe overcome more obstacles than Corey and Tricon or Connor and his junior motorsports team? You mean if Justin Allgaier, who won the championship last year at Phoenix and is doggone good there, wins and beats Connor Zilisch on the track on Saturday at Phoenix, that's an embarrassment? If Jesse Love, who loves Phoenix and has done well there in everything else he's driven, goes and puts it together and wins, that's an embarrassment? Let's go back to the trucks. If Caden Honeycutt and Friesen Racing, who we know bust their butt with less resources than Tricon has for Connor, they go out and beat Connor on the track, Corey Heim on the track, that's an embarrassment? Come on, Kevin. Embarrassment? Why? This is the format we have. It doesn't care what you did a month ago, 2 months ago, 6 months ago. It cares what you do at Phoenix in the championship race when it counts. I know. We're not a stick and ball sport. And that is what complicates this. Because the whole argument that we're having is we're trying to find a format that somehow creates the appropriate and correct outcome every time. That doesn't exist. Because if we look at the old standings, if we take the old way of accumulating points, if we converted this whole thing right now before the weekend, and you look at the Cup Series, Denny Hamlin is not even in contention, despite the fact that he's won 6 races. Now, you could say, well, that's because he skipped a race for the birth of his child, but wait a minute. If we use the same old points for Corey Heim, Corey could have taken the last 4 races off. He literally wouldn't have had to have run anything after the Roval. He could have taken the rest of the schedule off. He clinched at the Roval. William Byron won the regular series championship. But, of course, Connor Zilisch would be leading, sure enough, in the Xfinity Series, and he missed a race too because he was hurt. Kyle Larson drove his car at Texas, won the race. So everybody's trying to chase this sort of perfect thing. This isn't about, Kevin kept saying, you're not going to please everybody no matter what you do. Well, it's not even about pleasing everybody. It's about the fact that you can't make a perfect outcome every time. You can't make it right. I learned that lesson real early. I was probably 11 years old. 1978 at the Oswego Speedway. They ran 17 races. Now, of course, they have the old system. There's no playoff even there today. Okay, 17 races. Jimmy Shampine, my favorite driver, won 13 out of 17 and lost the title to Warren Coniam, also a favorite of mine, who won 0 races. How did that happen? Because at least 3 of the other 4 were double point shows, and Jimmy broke in all of them. Had a rash of motor problems or whatever, and didn't finish in those races. Coniam finished every race, never won one, but they were up front every week in the top 3 or 5. So consistency got them the title. That was a team win. Obviously, of course, Warren had a hand in that too. He was one of the best drivers there, and he was probably the best of that group of cars that there were sort of two groups. Jimmy built a radical offset car. They had 3 or 4 more that got built for 78, and then Conium still had an old 8-inch offset. So there was sort of an A and a B class that year. Conium was kind of the best of the Bs most of the season, and that's what won him the title. Are we supposed to sort of asterisk that and say it, well, that wasn't really legitimate because Jimmy won 13 races? I don't care, and Jimmy's my favorite. You can't take anything away from that. You run all the races under the format there is, and the best person wins. Okay, the one who does everything they're supposed to do for all of the events under the rules, that's who your champion is. We can't totally make it right all the time. So that's, and of course, it gets complicated more because in our sport, even after a driver or a team is eliminated from championship contention, they're still on the track racing to win the race. So, this idea that somehow if we go back to the old way, everything will be great. Nope, we're still going to be looking at things, and, we're going to have a year where somebody's going to win 8 races or 10 races. And you're going to say, well, they should have won the title. Well, no, they shouldn't, because they didn't finish in 7 or 8 races. Go look at how many races Denny Hamlin fell out of this year. But again, he's got 6 wins. Shouldn't he have a chance at least? So the compromise everyone wants is for this to go back to the old system, but somehow we reward wins a lot more. Like there's a much bigger differential. Okay, your champion's your champion. This is just a silly argument, in my opinion, because whoever wins under the current format deserves to win. That's your champion. End of story. That's how it happened this year. Daniel Hemrick deserved that championship. That team busted its butt. They got to the Final Four, and he went and won one race, only win of his career, but he won a championship race. That's how this works, folks. Kevin Harvick's wrong. There is no embarrassment to the sport here. Does it suggest that maybe there's a better way of doing it? Maybe. That's a different argument. That's also a different statement. To say it's an embarrassment is insulting to the other 6 teams in those 2 series that work just as hard as Corey's team and Connor's team to get to where they are. And I think it was, honestly, I'm disappointed in Kevin for saying it. He should know better because Kevin's been on both sides. And that's my take. For more content, steeringwheelnation.com. And don't forget to check out the Tom Baker Show with me and Jacob Seelman every Monday night at 8 p.m. on PowerTube TV. Just go to watchpowertubetv.com, or you can get PowerTube TV on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple, Samsung, and other distribution networks. You can also go download their app. Just download the PowerTube TV app. No matter how you get to PowerTube TV, we are on their podcast channel Monday nights at 8 p.m. Wherever you are, when it's 8 p.m., that's when we come on. Until next time, I'm Tom Baker. Thanks for tuning in.